Welcome back, students. We are at example 4. We are going to calculate ingredients for the divided powders or charts using tablets as a source of ingredients. We had used pure powders, we have used triturates, and now we're going to be using tablets as a source of active ingredients. Question reads, calculate the ingredients necessary for preparing the prescription below using the stock of ranitidine 150 milligram tablets with an average weight of 450 milligrams and the diluent lactose given the least weighable quantity of the balance used is 120 milligrams. So we're going to be looking at our prescription. This prescription is stated that the patient is going to get ranitidine 10 milligrams, MFT 1 chart, SIG 1 chart Noctate, DTD number 3. First, we're going to identify what the least weighable quantity is, which is 120. We're also going to identify what DTD means, which means send such dosage of 3. So it means that a total of 3 charts or 3 doses will be given. This is equivalent to 3 days or 3 nights supply because you are taking, or the patient is taking, 1 chart at night. Because we know invariably that when working with powders, we're going to have some amount of loss, we're going to calculate for 40% excess of total charts requested. Since the total charts requested was 3, 40% of that is 1.2. So we round that up to 2 extra charts because you can't have 1.2 charts. So the total amount of charts that we will be extemporaneously compounding or calculating for are 5 charts. We ought to determine the amount of ranitidine that's necessary for a dose, i.e. that should be contained in each chart. Here, MFT 1 chart indicates that 10 milligrams will be in 1 chart. So there's no need to do any calculation here as was seen in the previous example where it was MFT 12 charts. So we go right ahead to state that each chart will contain a dose of 10 milligrams of ranitidine. Total amount of active ingredient then would be the dose times the total number of charts, which works out to be 50 milligrams. This 50 milligrams is not weighable, but we have to determine what is the source of our active ingredient. The available stock is ranitidine 150 milligram tablets, and it has an average weight of 450 milligrams. So this means that the amount of ranitidine needed must be obtained from the stock that's provided. 1 tablet contains 150 milligrams. Now I would like to stop right here. If you recall, a tablet contains usually the active pharmaceutical ingredient and excipients. And the excipients could be diluents, dispersing agents or disintegrating agents, binders, lubricants. If it's a chewable tablet, it may have sweeteners and flavorants. So it is very rare that you will find a tablet having only the active ingredient. So therefore, even though we are talking about 150 milligram ranitidine tablets, the average weight is 450 milligrams, which indicates that it is not only the active ingredient that is in this tablet, but there are other things, and those other things are excipients. If 1 tablet contains 150 milligrams, the next tablets will contain 50 milligrams, and that X tablet is going to be 0.33 of a tablet. Now, I don't know about you, but here on Earth, we cannot accurately obtain 0.33 tablets. So therefore, we're going to have to use an amount that is going to be equivalent to 0.33 tablets. Luckily for us, we have the average weight. Also, we're not going to use the tablets as a whole, we are going to crush it to fine powder to be used to make our charts. So if we crush the tablets and we know the weight, average weight of one tablet, then we can determine the amount of tablet powder that will be equivalent to 0.33 tablets. So since one tablet will weigh 450 milligrams, then 0.33 tablets should weigh 148.5 milligrams. This means that if I crush one tablet, which I would have to crush one tablet to find homogeneous powder, I will weigh off 148.5 milligrams of that tablet powder. That will contain my 50 milligrams of ranitidine that I need. Then we're going to have to determine if the powder is weighable. Granted, the tablet powder of 148.5 milligrams is weighable, but this is for a total of 5 charts. So remember, we are only weighing one charge or packaging one charge at a time. So therefore, we're going to have to divide through 148.5 by 5 to get the amount of powder mass that is required per chart. And this is 29.7 milligrams, which is not weighable. So therefore, we are going to have to make it weighable. At this point, we're going to determine the desired weight per chart that is weighable, which will in turn give us our total chart mixture. Remember that we can let one chart weigh greater than or equal to the least weighable quantity. So that can be 120, 130, 150. But we here in our compounding pharmacy like to be very conservative. So we are using the least weighable quantity. So we're going to let one chart weigh 120. Therefore, 5 charts will weigh a total or will require a total powder mass of 600 milligrams. This means that I'm going to be mixing 148 milligrams of crushed 150 milligram tablet powder and combine it with a certain amount of diluent to give me 600 milligrams of total powder mixture. Therefore, that diluent that we are going to add to that 148.5 milligrams is going to be 451.5 milligrams. So we are going to combine 2 powders. If we should look at it in terms of steps on what to do, we're going to retrieve 101 of the 150 milligram ranitidine tablets. We are going to crush it in our mortar to find homogeneous powder. We're going to weigh off 148.5 milligrams. We're going to take either lactose or diluent. We're going to weigh 451.15 milligrams of it. We're going to mix it using geometric dilution. And once we have a homogeneous mixture, we're going to weigh separately 5 portions of the formulation, where each portion will contain 120 milligrams of the formulation, and package them in chart papers and dispense to the patient.